everyone, welcome back to my corner of the internet. As you guys can see from the title, today I am doing my roundup for the mid-year. This was supposed to go up in June, but you guys, the last 2 weeks I have been on survival mode. I kid you not. I came down with something. I'm on currently meds to try to help myself. I'm back. I'm feeling good. So I am here to share with you guys my last quarter of palette usage as well as my 6 months. The last 6 months, what palettes were used the most and how many times did I use these palettes? So if you're interested to hear all the statistics, stay tuned. Okay, so let's start out with the last 3 months. So I already had done a video like this for January to March. So now this next section is from April to June. What were my top 5 palettes that I used for the month and how many uses did I use them in those 3 months? As you guys know, I am not here to hit pan on any eyeshadows, to do a pan those eyeshadows, to do a whole pan, no pan left behind. This is just for me to see what I'm reaching, what I'm liking, what it is that I'm enjoying in my collection, what it is that I am thinking about, and what palettes are being neglected to maybe either change that in the future or declutter them and move them on to a different household. So I even have my percentage of the last 6 months of how many palettes I've touched this year so far. I'm actually, overall, the amount that I've touched is actually pretty fascinating to me because I didn't think I would. But again, I'm not somebody who's just touching every single palette one time. Some of these palettes are being used quite a bit, so that's also taking up some time. All right, so let's start out with the last 3 months. Number 5 is a tie. It goes to 2 different palettes. The first one that I want to share with you guys is the newest palette that I have in my collection. That is the Petalmorphosis palette. This one was used 3 times. That is the least amount, like everything, a lot of palettes got 1 to 2 uses. This one got 3, so it's up there. This is one that I do like. This color right here, actually, I want to be a little bit interesting to see how I like this one, because this one I feel like I would use in the summertime. So don't bother me. All right, that's not too bad. All right, so this is one that I used 3 times in. It's tied with the Mario Ethereal palette. So this is another one. Ooh, I could have put this one on my eyes too. This is more of like my sophisticated one. So I pull this out when I have like date nights, special occasions. For the summertime, it just makes me look put together when I want something ethereal on my eyes, but not too much. This is the one that I've reached for. So I really enjoy this one too. So these 2 have gotten 3 uses. I'm happy to see that they've gotten more than 1 use. Let's move on to the third one. The third palette that has gotten the most use in the last 3 months was the Anastasia Sultry palette. So this one got 6 uses for the last 6 months, or the last 3 months. And I'm actually wearing this one today on my eyes again. I am wearing Twig and Birch as my crease shades. So I am reaching for this one quite a bit for either crease, for one shadow, for a shimmery shadow. I'm actually tempted to try this out as a blush. I'm going to try that next. But yeah, this one got 6 uses in the last 3 months. That's actually pretty good. I'm still reaching for it, you guys, which is very exciting. Palette number 2. The second one up there is my Danessa Myricks Groundwork. I actually was struggling to pick this one or the Sultry for today, because I do want to reach for some of these as just like a one and done and then put like a shimmer on there. So maybe tomorrow I'll do that. But this one has gotten 11 uses in the last 3 months. So that's not too bad. It's looking good. I'm actually liking it. And so far I have 3 pans in this one. So I'm not doing bad. I'm not doing bad. I really like this one because this one was my most used palette last year. So it's still kicking this year. And the number 1 palette that I used in the last 3 months with 19 uses was the Becca Ombre. And that was specifically to try to finish off that one specific shade that I did finish off. Since then, this palette has been retired and I haven't touched it since, which is fine because I'm using a lot of more warmer tones and I'm enjoying that. So this one was my top used palette. I'm curious to see what the next 3 months is going to hold for my top palette, because it's not what I was expecting it to be as of right now, but that's a whole different video. So now that we've spoken about the last 3 months, my top 5 palettes, I want to share with you guys my top 5 palettes that I've used the most in the last 6 months. So we're going to start out with the fifth one on there, and that is my MAC Nude Model with 4 uses. So this one I have retired it since the summer came because it's more like a springy, fallish kind of transitional shade palette. So this one has been put away, but this one has gotten 4 uses in the last 6 months. That's actually pretty interesting to me considering I have so many other palettes. Then spot number 4 goes to its sister, which is the MAC Unfiltered. This one has 8 uses. I have yet to use this one in the summertime. I've just been having so much fun with other ones, but this one is a beautiful one as well. So this one has gotten 8 uses in the last 6 months. That doesn't count for previously because before that I've had a lot of use on that one. The third one goes to the Anastasia Sultry. This one has gotten 10 uses in the last 6 months, and I am pretty sure it will continue to grow from there. So at least this palette has gotten used more than at least one time each month in the last 6 months, and then some months more. So it's getting use. It's getting use and it's getting love, which is what I do enjoy because that's one of my favorite palettes. Number two goes to the Nessa Myrick Groundwork with 14 uses in the last 6 months. So this one has gotten 14 uses. Okay. All right. I can see that. And the number 1 use, I'm sure you guys are well aware which one it is. It is the Becca Ombre one with 47 uses. So this was 47 uses to get it to this point. So my point was to use up that shade. I really enjoyed it as a transition shade when I had no tan, so that's why I reached for this one the most, and I really do like the formula of these, so it wasn't bad. It was actually not too bad. So I'm actually not surprised, as you guys can see in the last 3 months and the last 6 months, I really have had an overlap of palettes. This is a good exercise for me because it shows me what it is that I'm reaching for, what it is that I truly enjoy on my eyes. I will warn you that this summer, like literally, I've been reaching for singles a lot more. I'm not reaching for palettes as much, so my palette usage is going to dwindle a little bit for like the next month or so because I'm realizing I'm reaching for really quick and easy shadows. Like what I'm wearing today, the only palette that I touched was this one, mainly because I use a bunch of single cream shadows, some glitter toppers, and that's calling it a day. I love to do that, and I also like to use shadow sticks as liners, that sort of thing. So I'm actually enjoying it because I really don't use singles as much in the winter time. So I'm trying to use what I like at the time that I like. So I don't know what my usage will be the next month, but I am noticing what I enjoy, what it is that I like on myself, what it is that I took with me on my 2 trips that I had. I realized what it is that I enjoy in the summertime. So then it has curved my spending on certain areas of categories because I'm not using them. And that has worked out wonderfully because you guys know that this is truly the only palette I've spent money on. I haven't purchased any other palette yet at all whatsoever. So that to me just shows that I already have enough. I enjoy what I have. And in the summertime, I really am not reaching for them. Out of all the palettes that I own, 56 palettes have been touched from January to June 30th. 56 palettes. And in total, out of my whole entire makeup collection, 28% has been touched. So it's more than 20%, which was like my internal goal. I wanted to at least use 20% of my collection halfway through the year. So that's actually pretty good. I'm at 28%. I'm curious to see how many more palettes am I going to touch? How many more palettes am I going to reach for? Because I have another 6 months to go. I would like to reach at least 50% of my palettes. That just shows that I do enjoy the ones that I do have. And then I got to reconsider the ones that I haven't touched. Am I going to reach for them? Am I going to enjoy them? Should I let them go, moving them on, and so on and so forth? Because I'm constantly trying to dwindle down my collection to what I truly enjoy and truly like. And it's not, my declutters are not something that just are being thrown out there and just decluttering just because I want to bring down my numbers and then bring more stuff in. That's not how I do it. So it's very intentional, very thoughtful, at least on my end. So I do enjoy that. So I wanted to share that with you guys. 28%. Wow, can I say that? I don't know if I've ever reached for this amount of palettes in the previous years, 6 months in. It was always like newer palettes. It's always like quicker things. So I'm very proud of myself. I see what I like. my core love. And it's funny because, yeah, I do like these palettes a lot. So I'm not surprised that they've gotten the most use. We'll see what the next quarter brings and what the next end of the year will bring, because that I'll bring to you guys as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what your most used palette so far for this year has been, and how many uses have you gotten on it. I'd love to hear that. This is the most kind of project pan that I would do with eyeshadow palettes. This I can handle. This I can enjoy. I'm not competing with myself. I'm not feeling like I need to reach for certain things more than others. It's just more of a knowledge thing for me than it is a competitive look how much I'm using kind of stuff. So I don't mind doing this, and I may continue this going forward. Maybe title this a project pan of some sort. Palette usage, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for clicking on my videos. Thank you for liking my videos, leaving comments. You guys are amazing. I don't think we're going on any more vacations, so I should be here. I should be here and present for you guys. All right, guys, that's all that I have. I'll catch you guys on the video on the screen for your enjoyment. Until then, guys, God bless. I'm out.